Good afternoon, Phoenix, Arizona, and points far and wide via Twitch. Welcome to Battle on the Bank 2025. Thank you. We are here with you. It is closing in quickly on 2:30 p.m., which is when I had to cancel a dentist appointment I had today at 2:30. So, Freya loves that joke, and I sure hope they heard it. Anyway, we are here in the arena. I'm already punchy, watch out. Clofton P. Grudge, I will be the voice of, it looks like 10 and a half of 13 of the bouts of Battle on the Bank. So,
wow, slacker.
I know. I am here and I am ready to go. Joined, as I often am, by Suki Talkin' Smackhouse.
Good afternoon, everybody.
So, here we are. To give you a recap, in case you haven't, in case you just woke out of, a long sleep. But what we have here is Arizona is defending their championship from last summer. We have the other competitors here are the same as last year. So we have Texas here, we have Tilted Thunder, we have San Diego, LA, and Arizona. So Arizona's going to look to defend their title. San Diego made it to the finals last year and lost to Arizona. They won Battle on the Bank 2. Here we are. One second. Anyhow, sorry. As tournaments do, as things go at tournaments, we're sorting out getting a roster of the skaters so that we can introduce them to you for this first bout. However, just again, there's so many storylines going on. Los Angeles won several in a row. They'll be looking to get back into the title game, obviously, at the very least. San Diego's going to look to avenge their loss last year. Tilted Thunder and Texas are both here. So they're here to get in there and do everything they can. They're only another year stronger coming out of the lockdown. So I am extremely excited to see what develops over the next couple of days here at the Hall of Dames.
Absolutely, I'm excited as well. And for those of you who don't know, what's at stake is this fantastic trophy
that
right. is sitting right in front of our announcer table. If you have not seen it, come behold it in all of its glory.
Yeah, if you hadn't heard, Arizona won Battle on the Bank 2024. You may have heard that. But if not, then that was Arizona's first Battle on the Bank victory, first national championship. So this is the first time the trophy has resided here at the Hall of Dames in our beloved roller derby arena. So let us bring you, while we await the skater rosters, which will be on their way momentarily. They just needed to make another copy for us. I will bring you our officials. We have officials here from several leagues. We've got, of course, our Arizona Derby Dames officials. I know that we have Jax to win from Arizona Skate Club down south of us. We've got referees here from Los Angeles, Tilted Thunder. Whole lot of volunteer referees helping this tournament go on. So let's introduce our first crew to you for Arizona versus Los Angeles. Head referee, your first head ref of the tournament, Jack Hart. Game executioner, King Slayer. Front pack ref, Metallicile. Back pack ref, Infidel Castro. Your jam refs are Insubordinate Amy and Gigi. Your eyes in the sky are Transylvania and Debris. Your OPRs are Tiger Bomb and She-Ra. Penalty tracker, Hasselblack. Penalty tracker assist, Shanimal. Your penalty box attendants are Shakilra, took me a second, Shakilra and Bunny Holly. As tournaments do, you see names for the first time. You got to figure out what the hook is, right? Whiteboard is Psycho Sis. On scoreboard is Siren. Runner who just ran these rosters up to us is Jax to win. Your alternate is Bender B. Rodriguez. And we've got skater rosters, by golly. So, it is time to bring you the rosters for our skaters for the first bout. Would you like to bring us LA's skaters?
Absolutely.
All
okay,
right.
So for LA, we have got number 39, Bucket. Number 76, Jezahel. Number 115, Sly Fox. Number 218, Penetration. Number 329, Draft Punk. Number 430, Oblivion, Westwood. We've got number 500, Jesus. 606, She Deviled Egg. Number 845, I'm in a New York state of mind. My really bad Billy Joel impression, otherwise known as Newsy. Number 1300, Shank Solo. 1503, Mona Lethal. Number 2022, Chance the Ripper. 5515, Baby V, otherwise known as Vanessa Bludgeons. And 9637, Jane Whoa. That is LA for you.
And now, skating for Arizona here in the first bout of the day. Number 22, Mimi Mahler. Number 23, Murder Mittens. Number 55, Skid Vicious. Number 95, Lightning the Queen. Number 101, Hurricane May. Number 300, Dolly Spartan. Number 616, Antifa. Number 623, Hollyhood. Number 626, Remy Ruckus. Number 666, Strange. Number 669, Nikki Badass. Number 835, Skarin Jaeger. And number 925, Evil Twin. Those are the competitors. We've got our referee crew down there is going over some final things. Again, it's heartwarming to be at tournaments and see the little hallmarks of things like, referees from several different leagues establishing their hand signals, what they'll say here and there, looking for same number on two different teams, things along those lines.
Yes, we love all the little things that get thrown our way. And it's like, wait a minute, no.
Yep.
And then Clifton will invariably be like, wait a minute, that person goes by also this name and that number and has done this and that. The history that you have in your brain is astounding as far as
eidetic
Derby.
memory once in a blue moon is more useful than going to team trivia and winning $25 of Applebee's bucks. Oh, good. We got our knockoff of the Bloomin' Onion for free. Cool. I'm glad I knew what the furthest north city along I-40 is.
That'll be very useful to you at some point.
It was. Again, it won us $25 of free knockoff Bloomin' Onion. Anyway, what I was about tournaments too is the best part is when you're announcing it and somebody walks over and goes, "That's not so and so. That's so and so." Like, hey, we just got a slip. I don't know, man. I am amped. I love it. I love tournament play. We are ready to go. Your first jammer for Arizona is number 2187.
And we got 606 She Deviled Egg for LA. And away they go.
And your first jammer is Princess Leia, who is not on the roster. So, I mean, look, I invoked it. I love it. The absolute, the first jammer of the first jam is not on the roster. Princess Leia for Arizona.
And She Deviled did get out. She Deviled Egg, did get out, but Leia called it off.
I noticed there was one less person listed than LA, and I wondered why that was. And again, tournaments do. What can I say? Tournaments do. It's already happened. You can already stamp that off your bingo card right next to the free square.
On the jammer line, we've got number 835, Skarin Jaeger for the Hot Shots.
That's number 39, Bucket for Los Angeles. Jam 2 underway. Arizona got your standard 4. Spinning along the inside and winning, Skarin Jaeger out and clear for Arizona.
Buckets towards the back of the pack there, looking to get past a formidable Hot Shots wall there. Looks like they're making some ground as Skarin Jaeger's coming around the high.
Jaeger's able to get around on the high side, as mentioned, gets clear for Arizona, coming around for a second scoring attempt. Bucket now is trying to weave past Hurricane May and is able to do so.
Bucket is out.
Bucket kind of used the fact that Strange was coming in and able to turn and get gone. And Jaeger will call it off with Bucket closing in from behind. Hurricane May has the largest bows in her hair I've ever seen. Those are huge. Those are Sia-sized. Those are nuts.
Those will be good markers for us, even though we know what she looks like.
All right, so that ended up being 6 for Arizona on that scoring opportunity.
And it looks like we've got 1503 Mona Lethal for LA.
That's Evil Twin for Arizona. Twin down to the inside. Got knocked off.
Mona is out. Oh, takes a big tumble there on the track, ends up on the infield.
Mona Lethal now going to roll off onto the infield. And Evil Twin goes by. We will have a stoppage in play. Now we are, looks like Mona Lethal back up and heading back to the bench, which is good to see. Our medical crew is going to spring into action to make sure she's okay. We'll have an official timeout to facilitate that action. So yeah, quite a fall.
Big shout out to our medics who come and do this. They do this for free. They're volunteers. We couldn't do it without them. We need the safety, we hope that we never have to see them do anything except watch, but it's nice to know that they're here.
Yeah. And hometown people, local people, and we'll mention this more than once during the tournament, but we're always looking for more volunteer medics that can help us make bouts go off. We've got to have medics down there. It's a contact sport. So we are always looking for people. If you or somebody you know is a first responder trained or a medic of some other fashion, get them in touch with us or get yourself in touch with us. We'll tell you who to talk to. Basically, we always say we hope our medics just get to sit really close to roller derby action, like mentioned. So
absolutely.
Good to see that Mona Lethal got up and back to the bench under her own power. There's times when you make a track monster joke, but that was hard. She lost her balance, had her skates go out from under her, and basically hit the ground on her stomach, which is a belly flop onto a hard surface, which hurts.
Absolutely. The track has some give, but
it's better than the concrete.
Better than that infield.
Concrete
absolutely
reflects every bit of energy right back into your joints.
Yes.
It's rough. I've done improvised theater a lot, and I one time was performing on concrete and didn't stop to consider that. And I just kind of gently inchwormed off stage and just waved for the scene to continue. I was like, I'll be all right. I just need a second. All right, we are back to the action. That is Hurricane May still for Arizona.
It looks like we've got Baby V 5515 for LA jamming for them. Hurricane May's kind of eking their way through the pack there. Baby V's at the back there. Looks like that formidable Lightning the Queen and Mimi Mahler set up there with Remy Ruckus added in for good measure, holding them back as May's coming around for some points here.
Yeah, excellent defense there by Jezahel, basically one-on-one with May. May's real able to get around on those skates, and Jezahel able to hang in there and slow May up at least a bit. We've got Baby V now trying to find an opening. Is trying to follow a blocker around the outside. Here comes May. May's able to get around. Mimi Mahler opening a lane for her along the outside.
Baby V's not giving up there at the back, though. They're fighting as hard as they can, working to get through. Looks like they might try a little bit of jammer defense here against May. Gets bumped out onto the infield. May coming around. And those are really big bows. I will give you that. I just saw them.
Yeah, I was going to say. I question the aerodynamic qualities of those.
I don't think May has to worry about that.
I don't think those would pass an F1 post-race inspection. So 15 points for Arizona there.
Let's see, it looks like that's 8-4-5. Newsy or New York Skate of Mind. I'm not sure which one I'm supposed to use, so I'll use both. And then we've got Dolly Spartan for the Hot Shots.
That is correct. Dolly down to the inside. Block down to the infield. Great redirection of Dolly's own momentum there. And an excellent block by the LA defender. Did not catch that number as they spun around. Dolly now able to find an opening along the outside and takes off.
Newsy looking for an opening there. LA teammates are helping. A little shove there. Trying to get out of the pack. Oh, little baby whip there. That was awesome.
Yeah, well, that was Jesus throwing the whip, so...
it looked like that whip was by Jesus,
yeah, I was
if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Jesus, I got to know Jesus last summer at the tournament because Sheezy works on... I can call him Sheezy now. We're pals. No, but works on AV, and I did not realize. I was like, wait a second, you're Jesus? And I got the fan child out for like a solid, I love you. You're in the trenches all the time, and you're doing all the dirty work.
Did you use that accent? That's awesome.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I turned into a side character on Duck Dynasty. That's how fanned out I was. That is going to be along the inside.
All right, back to the action here. Looks like 218 penetration, for LA. Jamming. And is that strange
that
for
is
Hot
strange
Shots?
for
It
Arizona.
Is
Strange is out and clear. Penetration blocked down to the inside. That Arizona wall at the front of the pack has been very formidable against the Los Angeles Jammers thus far.
Yeah, penetration. I'm going to say that wrong every time. Penetration is doing some spin moves and gets out of the pack there. Strange coming up behind.
And Strange able to use momentum
Although
heading down the front
penetration looks like they're having a good time. Big smile. That's what it's about, right?
Oh, look out. Oh, goodness me.
A little bit of a tumble there.
Everybody all right? Okay, yeah, I was going to say. That just, Penny kind of came in and was, well, her blockers, I don't think saw her kind of blasting in there late, so.
Really quickly, I want to make an announcement about shout-outs. If you're not here in the rink with us, please go to the AZDD website and the merch page on the website, and you can actually do a shout-out for your favorite player, which I, or Clifton, will go ahead and announce for you. So if you are feeling it and you want to cheer from afar, please do so. That's AZDD website on the merch page.
Well, you can also buy a shout-out when you're in the arena, and then you can say something really complicated to make the announcer say, like I did to Sandy.
You are correct. I stand corrected. You can definitely do it from here.
I put the word task persons in my shout-out and said, you just had to say that. So you can also do that as a humongous prank and gag.
I'm more concerned about the people, who are far and away, who are watching on Twitch with us.
I hear from LA's bench that your jammer is She-Deviled Egg for Los Angeles, and Egg trying to follow Evil Twin to the front as best she can. And those blockers are out of play, so Egg gets to go on around. So
and it looks like Evil Twin, for hot shots.
Gets one crack at this, basically. And the LA defense strong on the back of the pack that time, with She-Deviled Egg forcing the call off. So 2 more points for Arizona. We are approximately halfway through the first half. These are, of course, all halftime bouts. The only full-time bouts are going to be the Minor Assaults and LA Derby Dolls. I'd have to look. Is it the Junior Derby Dolls? Again, I mean, it's LA's juniors team, and they will be skating a full bout tomorrow in the middle of the day. You'll be announcing that.
I will,
so.
I'm really excited about that. It's really fun to watch the under-18s.
Yes, absolutely. And then, of course, the third-place bout and the championship bout will all be full 60-minute bouts. These other ones are all 30 minutes.
So these are the appetizers. These are the appetizers to the main entree.
So that is, once again, Skarin Jaeger out for Arizona and looking for an opening. Kind of runs up into an LA blocker and wins that battle with momentum and gets on through.
Looks like Bucket's out of the pack now, coming up behind. Skarin Jaeger going around for another scoring pass.
So Jaeger's going to spin around on the inside and then run up into the pivot for LA. That's Sheezus. And Sheezus stays in front of Jaeger. At least it appeared as such. I guess we will find out officially. Yep, they're actually discussing that as we speak. Hang on. And it is 9 points. So Sheezus stayed in front, forced the call off, saving that 1 point. Under 7 minutes to go here in the first half. Arizona 51, LA no score thus far. That is Dolly Spartan for Arizona, and that's Baby V for Los Angeles, second time jamming. Dolly is out along the inside and coming around looking for points. Baby V is going to get back up on the track. Trying to use the distraction of the approaching jammer to her advantage. Gets out, but just gets clipped by Antifa on the way by. Takes a hard tumble and has to reestablish. Just about clear. Excellent block. Antifa just got enough of her at the front of the pack. Meanwhile,
Dolly Spartan looking to make a move there towards the back.
Dolly is still battling at the back of the pack and trying to finish that scoring pass. Does so. But excellent defense by LA at the back of the pack.
Absolutely. That was like Shanks solo. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Mona Lethal was back there helping out as well to keep Dolly from getting through. Nice blocking.
Clock expires on that jam. All right, that ends up being 8 for Arizona, officially speaking. All right, everybody's checking in. Everybody's checking in. That's Hurricane May for Arizona.
And She-Deviled Egg for LA, who takes a little bit of a tumble there on the infield, but is back on the track looking to make their move.
You can always tell the egg chant goes up from the bench. Egg, egg, egg. whenever there's an egg jam.
Because they're exceptional.
Exactly. And Egg is out. Egg's out. Lead jam for Los Angeles.
That was an excellent move. I'm going to keep going. I'm keep going.
There's the Egg cheer. We've got LA cheerleaders right in front of the announcer's booth, if you're curious. So, taking over as jammer, Arizona has executed a star pass. That is Lightning the Queen, I believe. Was that Lightning? No, that's Mimi. Mimi's got a visor. What do you know? Little things like that you notice. That's why I didn't think it was Mimi. Yeah, Mimi's got a visor, so maybe she got poked in the eye and was like, I'm not going to do that again.
Right.
It's always when you know somebody in hockey skating.
It's only one time.
Somebody in hockey skating with a full face visor, you're like, oh, yeah, no, it hurts when you get hit in the mouth with a puck, doesn't it? We're going to have a timeout of some fashion. It's a team timeout for Arizona. Yep, Arizona. I always have to make sure I can which arm I'm looking at from the game executioner. So, as it was shaping up, it appeared that we were about to have a power jam for LA, but we'll have to check on that once we roll back out of this timeout. So, 3 points for Los Angeles, so they have scratched up on the board. 4:08 to go here until halftime. It's 59-3 at the moment.
And this is probably a good time to talk about Vendor Village, which is at the front entrance of our building here. We have got Rhea Riot Tattoo. And in case you didn't know, Rhea Riot is actually tattooing on premises today. So if you would like a tattoo, head on over to the office that is directly below the clock there.
Also, did you know that Rhea Riot skates as number 23 Murder Mittens?
I did know that.
Okay. I'm just doing that thing you said I always do. I figured
love that. Yes.
I'd fulfill the prophecy.
You have to remind me. You have to remind me.
Anyway.
Tierney, or Murder Mittens, is a tattoo artist who had a traditional apprenticeship and education not only in traditional folkish art form, but also in the education of the craft, including building machines and needles and the history of the old workers' ways. This connection to the history of tattooing builds a deep respect for the art itself. Tierney is a native-born Phoenician whose life has always included creating art, with tattooing being what she's most passionate of. Also, Siphon Draw is here. All natural, non-toxic, handcrafted skincare products made by our very own Dali de los Muertos. Visit Siphon Draw, that's SIPHONDRAW.com for their incredible products. I'm really doing good. Products, or go visit them at the Vendor Village. And we will have more from the Vendor Village as we go along here. Are we still in timeout? Maybe I can get another one in?
Yeah,
nope,
absolutely.
Maybe not.
We'll have to let you know about all the edible things down there.
Edible things, extremely cute skate laces.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of very cool stuff at the Vendor Village. So
we are back to it, and this indeed is a power jam for Los Angeles. On the jammer line for LA is number 845. That's Newsy taking off. Arizona took that timeout to set their power jam defense. What great clearing block at the back of the pack. That was number 329 for LA, Draft Punk. Excellent block down the back of the pack.
Newsy's trying to make a play there at the front of the pack there, but getting quite a bit of opposition. There's a nice 3-wall that's built up by Hot Shots, but looks like some of their comrades are coming to the rescue there to help break that up a little bit.
Yeah, they were trying to goad in, and finally Newsy's able to get clear and get out. I was going to say they were trying to run the goad, and that Arizona blocker at the back was just able to sneak under the wall. So LA just took off, and like a bunch of football players, everybody just kind of knocked somebody out of the way.
Yeah.
And you know what? Hey, if strategy 1 doesn't work, just run at them.
Absolutely.
So now there's Newsy along the inside, gets blocked. There's 8 seconds left on the power jam, and Newsy's going to try to make sure that she gets all 5 of these points. Going to spin that hip. And gets blocked, but is trying to get by Hollyhood at the last second. And we'll check from the infield. And there it is, all 5 of those points. Newsy did get in front of all those skaters. So excellent work, excellent jammer awareness of knowing where she was on the track. We are watching, and I hear we've got a challenge coming up. We got a challenge, Arizona. So Arizona has used their first half timeout and have now used their first half challenge, which they could hypothetically get back if they win it. So as challenges go, we will await them to let us know what the challenge is about and what the results are. So we'll step aside For a break in the action and more of our vendor village and other items. It's 59-8 at the moment with 2:38 to go until halftime. So let's talk about Raven Sweet Haven. There we are, Raven Sweet Haven. There's an official blurb, and I'm going to read it. Selling killer pastries and sweets, comfort flavors, and wild combinations with local ingredients. Come for the pie and cupcakes, leave with something new. All right, that being said, get down there and get some of the savory things before they sell out, because the sweet things are also really good. They're also not terribly sweet. Does that make sense? And I've actually talked with Raven about this. Like, the sweets are not like killer sweet.
I've had some of Raven sweets, and they're delicious.
There are certain cookies named after, cookies that may not stay together. Wink, wink. And boy, those are just, man, it's like it's already a sweet cookie, and then it's frosted. Well, I tried them once, and I was like, man, no thanks. No, Ravens, the sweet desserts are delicious. The scones.
It's the perfect amount of sweetness.
The muffins,
really is.
whether sweet or savory, they're big, wide. They're all muffin top. They're baked in a little wide pan. I'm looking at you like you don't know this, but they're basically, it's like you just get a big slice of muffin top, and then the corn muffins that have cheese and various ingredients. I'm just raving about this for the 20 people that are here in the audience, and if not, Raven's going to be here all 3 days,
yes,
start to close. So if you're going to come by, bring your debit card and avail yourself of those. I wasn't quick enough at the last ballot, and all the savory stuff was gone.
Yeah, they tend to sell out really, really quickly. So be sure to check them out early and often.
Yeah.
And it makes great dessert for the food truck that's outside, which is J&J Louisiana Barbecue. It's Phoenix's top barbecue food truck, serving up delectable delights like rib tips, chicken, brisket, pulled pork. It's authentic barbecue at its finest. So go check them out. Have a little barbecue, have some sweets. You were good to go. You were set up for the afternoon.
All right, so the challenge, which we had an especially up close view of, what we had there was at the end of the play, we had the jammer for Los Angeles tried to get by those 3 blockers. They had just been called out of play, and then Holly Hood blocked, sort of like, as a bang-bang play, so to say. So Hood was charged with a penalty for blocking out a play, so they were challenging that penalty, which obviously I saw both the jammer gesticulating to the refs and Hood gesticulating to the refs, so they both thought they were right, so that ended up getting challenge unsuccessful. After discussion with everybody, so penalty stands. Holly Hood blocking out a play, 6-2-3 white.
But you don't know unless you don't you challenge.
Yeah, but I was going to say, that's actually one, often we just get the penalty and we're like, that was a thing, but this actually happened right in front of us.
Yes, it did.
And I know that they were both mad, so we are back underway, as we said, 59-8, 2.5 minutes till halftime.
And we've got Mona Lethal for LA jamming, and it looks like that's Lightning the Queen.
That is Lightning.
For Hot Shots.
See, Lightning's got a visor. That's why I thought that. See, anyway. Meanwhile, Lightning is out and clear. Mona Lethal is going to try to sneak by Jaeger and Mimi, and they're going to basically just hold Mona from being able to get out. Big collision.
Yeah, I've been seeing more of that Mimi Mahler and Scaring Jaeger partnership, and it's working out pretty well, it looks like.
Yeah, here comes Lightning now. Runs into a solid wall of defenders for LA, including their jammer. Great blocking by Mona Lethal there to slow down Lightning on this scoring pass.
Yeah, sometimes the jammer's got to, take that position of defense and, work that.
Lightning around the outside. Weaves up, weaves down to the inside. Oh, my goodness. So, yeah, Raven of Raven Sweet Haven just brought us savory mini muffins. Wonderful. I forget that people can hear me sometimes. This usually is just me up here musing away. It's like, am I holding a microphone? What is reality? Thank you so much, Raven. Yeah, Raven just delivered savory muffins.
And into Raven's ears.
I will snack on those carefully. So that I don't end up, hiccuping for an entire bout. We got a timeout coming up. Ended up being a 15-point jam for Lightning the Queen in Arizona. It's an official timeout. We're going to talk about some of the goings on there in that last jam. What else do we have down there, by golly?
Oh, we've got Red Hote Print Shop. Get your Derby name and number added to your new merch on the spot
Oh,
by
neat.
Red Hote Print Shop. That's actually super cool because we've
Yeah.
got some great merch. So visit the merch booth. We're going to do a little tap here, double tap on the merch booth that you can go ahead and get merch for Battle on the Bank.
Yeah, that's
there.
often a question. People have asked at tournaments past, are you doing numbers? And it has varied depending on the tournament. So good to know. I was going to say, I never think of that until somebody asked me. But there you go. We are doing, Red Hote is doing numbers and names on your new merch.
Very
So that
cool
is-
service
yeah.
right here on the spot. So no waiting. Well, there may be a
Right.
little bit of a wait if you're in line, but
So
you
we've
don't have
got
to send it off.
We got Green Irish Moon was down there. Looks like we're getting ready to get back to it. Green Irish Moon has handcrafted leather, roller skate, and shoelace accessories, offering custom paint and artwork, toe guards for your Derby alter ego. So, and it all looks really cool. I walked by
Yeah.
that on the way in.
They've got some very cool stuff down there. I saw a very cute Wednesday Addams themed.
Yes.
Yes. So
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah, all sorts of We'll be touching on the vendor village, but make it down here at some point. It's like a little shopping mall for your roller derby heart, and then also food. Meanwhile, Baby V for LA is going to weave along the inside and take off. So Baby V is out for LA. Not Hurricane
Looks
May.
like a jammer
Princess
race.
Leia.
A little bit of a jammer race there
Yeah.
between Slaya and Baby V.
Yeah, Baby V's really moving now, able to get out there unbidden. LA is going to try to run ahead and get in the middle of that wall as best they can. Baby V goes high. We will see if she got any points going up to the high side. It was going to be close. It's going to be an interesting scoring jam when both infield referees are flashing hand signals up to both eyes at the same time. Meanwhile, there were points for both sides there, so.
Looks like we've got Bucket for LA as jammer, and Murder Mittens, who we've spoke about earlier, is actually jamming for the Hot Shots.
Bucket goes around the outside, glances off the kick plate, stays in bounds, and moves on. So a second straight jam. Then Los Angeles has gotten out first as we close in on half. It is halftime. We are at halftime at this point. So LA with an offensive burst here. Bucket around the outside signaling to call it off.
Very smart
We'll
decision
check
on Bucket
again.
there with Mittens coming up behind so quickly. Makes sense.
All right, there it is. Ends up being 1 point for LA and 2 for Arizona that time, similar to the last one. I think it was 3 and 3. So points for both sides in both of the last two jams. We'll step aside for a 5-minute halftime break. I'm going to investigate these muffins that are in front of us, and we will check on shout-outs. Once again, if you're following us on Twitch, go to the Arizona Derby Dames website, ArizonaDerbyDames.com. Click on shout-outs. And for a small donation to the league, we will read your shout-out on the air. We'll be back in a bit. ready to get back to the action. Your referee crew is going over a couple of items. So interesting to watch in halftime bouts, of course, is the fact that you only get half as many penalties. So 4 penalties before somebody would foul out. The danger of that, of course, is that if you're a blocker in there and you happen to pick up 2 penalties in one jam, that's an issue. So, since unfortunately they're not served concurrently, they're served consecutively. So as we get ready to go back to the action, 79-12, Arizona in front at the moment. 15 more minutes of action to go. Next up will be TXRD and Tilted Thunder. Looks like we are. There we go. Now we're ready. All right. All right, your first jammer for Los Angeles here in the second half. That's Penetration.
And it looks like that's Evil Twin for the Hot Shots.
Indeed. LA is down 2 blockers here after that last jam, so working with a blocker disadvantage, but we've got Penetration actually further ahead at the moment, but just gets rocked by somebody there at the front of the pack.
Yeah, Penetration is really trying to make a play there against Hollywood.
So
and it looks like Evil Twin is out of the pack and coming around now. Penetration there towards the back. Making a nice move on the inside there. I'm just going to keep on doing it. Penetration is out of the pack.
Evil Twin ran into the pivot for LA and was forced down off the track. So, excellent work by the pivot there for LA, number 115, Sly Fox. That's going to be Scaren Yeager for Arizona after another 4-point Arizona jam.
And that looks like Baby V, if I'm not mistaken.
That is.
All right, there we go. I'm learning.
And Yeager just kind of disappears into a sea of black jerseys, trying to get clear, but excellent work on the back of the pack by those LA blockers.
Yeah, both jammers are fighting there. Baby V looks like going up against Mimi Mahler there at the front of the pack, while Scaren Yeager comes around and gets out.
Scaren Yeager around the outside being pursued by those LA blockers, but Yeager able to get to the point.
And apparently Scaren Yeager's already given some blood up to the track monster during their first jam. Came around to show the war wound.
And Baby V was able to get out. Scaren Yeager sneaks by to get the jammer point and calls it off.
And for LA now, we've got 845, New York Skate of Mine, or Newsy, and Dolly Spartan for the Hot Shots.
Right, as a 5-point jam for Arizona. Oh, there we go. I just heard a double penalty on Mimi Mahler. So Mimi just picked up 2 penalties on that jam. So again, that's going to be a thing we'll have to watch coming down to the stretch here, is attrition of players. These halftime bouts, it'll sneak up on you. Dolly Spartan along the inside, big opening, and Dolly's out and clear for Arizona.
Newsy takes a little bit of a tumble, but is back on the track there, fighting to get out as Dolly Spartan sneaks around on the high.
And
Newsy fighting, dancing along the coping there.
Newsy able to stay upright. Heavy block on the front of the pack by Skid Vicious for Arizona, but Newsy able to keep her balance. Dolly is going to weave by, get that last jammer pushed out of play, and calls it off. All right, it's 9 for Arizona there, up on the board. So, Mona Lethal for Los Angeles right in front of us.
And Hurricane May for Arizona. Hurricane Bose.
Lethal looking for an opening between a couple of Arizona defenders. May is making her way around, and Lethal gets a whip Lethal
Mona's
gets the
out.
whip there from
Yeah.
Sly Fox and is out and clear. So May gets one pass at it, spins around, is watching,
Waiting.
calls it off. Arizona running a little more time off the clock here in the late going. There we are. So 5 for Arizona, 102-12. Arizona nudges up over 100 for the bout. This is
Looks like She Deviled Egg for LA and Princess Leia.
Yep. Yep, I
For
would agree with
Arizona?
that. Oh, wow,
Princess Leia
excellent
took a
block.
little bit of a hard knock there against
Yeah.
the railing, but is out of the pack as Lee Jammer.
Big
She Deviled Egg
collision.
coming around on the high though, looking to get around Hollywood there.
And those blockers at the front of the pack are finally just out of play and had to yield. So Egg gets out as Princess Leia finishes a scoring pass and calls it off after the one attempt. Heard a penalty come in on white 3-0-0, and I'm so used to Dolly jamming. It's like, oh, that's right. She does block too, doesn't she? So we are
She does, yes.
taking a look at the jammer line. That is going to be Mimi Mahler jamming for Arizona. That's Bucket for LA. Mimi is out, and Mimi is clear of the pack for Arizona. Mimi now up onto the pack, and we're looking at Buckets kind of grabbing a fullback and trying to head for the end zone. Finally gets out of the pack, does Bucket. Couple of collisions back in the pack. Mimi now is up to the front, gets by May, and is going to watch Bucket go around and run a little bit of time off the clock. As we wait for this jam to get called, I thought I mentioned, Mimi Mahler is traveling for flat track roller derby, has made an all-star team in flat
Yes.
track, which is quite a coup for somebody who comes, primarily from bank track and skates primarily bank track as well. And
Absolutely.
we know a lot of
There's
skaters who
different
skate
set
with
of
both.
rules,
Yeah.
different formations. I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
you know, the track is entirely different.
And it brings to mind Phoenix Roller Derby, because we have Hugs and Stitches skates with us in Phoenix Roller Derby. Same thing, doing two tracks at once. We'll mention them in a second. This jam, meanwhile, that's Skid Vicious for
That is
Arizona.
Skid Vicious, yes.
Penetration gets out for LA and gets up and is going to move on after sliding down to one knee. So Skid around the outside is going to weave past that last blocker and call it off.
That was a nice little spin move by Skid there at the end.
Yeah, so we wanted to mention specifically Arizona Derby names and everybody here. We want to thank Phoenix Roller Derby for supporting our tournament this weekend. Phoenix RD is a roller derby league that's based here. They offer a safe space for people to learn to skate and play the sport of roller derby. The league is made up of individuals who are passionate about the sport and dedicated to supporting each other both on and off the track. Their next bout is June 14th, and they have a pancake fundraiser on June 21st. Good folks all. I have announced for them a couple of times. Mo Fasta skates with them on the Coffin Dragger. So yeah, a lot of people skate bank track and flat track at the same time.
Very nice. And they also provided us some coolers
Right.
for the tournament. So
Yes.
we are extremely grateful for that. So
Yeah,
thank you.
very appreciated. They brought in their big coolers. They have a warehouse like us, and they have bouts in the summer, so they have the right kind of equipment for that. That's She-Deviled Egg, as you hear the egg chant going up from more or less every LA fan in the house. And Egg spins by Murder Mittens on the inside, trying to make sure she gets all those points, and does all 4 of those points for She-Deviled Egg. Four points for She-Deviled Egg is only 2 whole points. That's Evil Twin at the jammer line for Arizona.
And Newsy for LA or New York Skate of Mind. I haven't decided which one I like better
I like
yet.
Newsy.
Newsy's just easier to say,
Right.
right? Yeah.
Right. If we keep calling her Newsy, I'm going to start singing tunes from Newsies.
Uh-oh.
Don't start me.
We've already had my really bad Billy Joel impression. We don't need to. You're a much better singer than I am.
Aw,
though.
shucks. What do we got? We do have a timeout. Ain't it a fine life, carrying the banner? I can sing. I cannot dance. You know I can't dance. I can hardly walk. You kidding me? Dance. If I danced, everybody would leave the dance floor. I don't bring sexy back. Sexy stays where it is when I dance. Sexy goes, yeah, I'm good. I'll stay over here. That is, meanwhile.
Meanwhile, let's talk about some raffle stuff.
Yes.
Let's do that. So we've got raffle prizes. Let's see, tickets available at the door. We've got one for a siphon draw prize skincare box it's a $50 value. We've got a haircut from Switchblade Salon at $75 value. Tucci Touch Massage, $120 value. And then we've also got some silent auction items. So go up to the front of the building there and check out the silent auction, because we've got a $400 gift certificate from Lost Dutchman Tattoo. We've got a $300 gift certificate from Rhea Riot Tattoo. We have got a skate bag from Poppin' Joe, a $250 value, and a gift bag from Oh My Quad Skate Shop. And we've got Desertscape canvas print by Andrew Jones, which is a $200 value. So some really terrific prizes. Go ahead and bid on those. They will be called out on Sunday, so you kind of have all the tournament all weekend to get those bids in.
Very exciting. Very exciting. Have that going on entire weekend.
And of course, we appreciate everybody's support by doing that.
We do. Now we're back to the action. It's our second Power Jam for Los Angeles at this point.
All right. Who's ready for a Power Jam for LA?
There we go.
Thank you.
I know everybody likes to do the puh thing, but I hate popping peas. I'm not gonna lie. Meanwhile, around the outside, quickly out and clear, is Newsy, number 845. Yeah, that official timeout led to a late Arizona penalty. It's been so long, I kind of forgot where we were set, but Newsy was the jammer. That led to the whole bit. So now trying to fight past that 2-wall at the front of the pack. Now gets some help from her blockers. Is going to try to get Hood pressed out of play. Hood, though, oh, goodness me. Hood just unloaded with a backwards-facing block. Wiped out Newsy and Jane Woe. That was a grown-up block right there.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what. Whoo, there goes around the outside. Now getting clear around the outside.
Go another round there.
Yeah, Newsy's got 7 seconds left. The pack has kind of ground to a halt here, so Newsy's going to get in there and try to get as many points as she can on this scoring pass. Gets by at least one skater and a ghost at the back of the pack. And we'll check on that score. Yeah, that was a block with all the force of physics, too, because Hood was coming downhill with that block. That was something. That was a collision.
Yeah, there was definitely some momentum there.
My goodness. And then, of course, Newsy just got up and kept going.
Right.
Scored more points. Right. I'd still be laying down there. Tomorrow, there would just be a chalk outline roughly in the shape of my body right where I landed. Yeah, there we go. Roller derby athletes are a different breed. I'll tell everybody that. It's really
8-point Power Jam by LA?
It was an 8-point Power Jam by Los Angeles, so excellent offensive output. We've got another official timeout. Wanted to mention about Siphon Draw. The calling it just like skincare products is kind of underselling it. I mean, it is when they say all natural, like they mean like the liquid lizard lips lip balm is you could eat it if you wanted to. It's like, I mean, if you didn't mind the texture of beeswax, you know what I mean? If you liked wax lips and nickel nip bottles, you might love eating liquid lizard lips. These are things, see what I mean? This is why I don't freestyle when I'm talking about sponsors. Do you like how wax tastes? Gosh, no, but I mean, it really is. It's just like 6 ingredients. All the lip balms are like that. That's primarily what I use. You know what I mean? I don't have much of a use for skincare myself, but I mean, just on the lip balm alone, I can absolutely say, yeah, I will testify to the quality of their products. And it's all made with things that they go out, I say there's several derby skaters that work with Dolly out there in Goldfield Ghost Town. And they go out there out towards Superstition Mountains, walk out there, and they harvest a lot of the desert herbs from around there. Dolly has her own beehives. Yeah, Dolly has an apiary.
That's
really?
How you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? And then last year for Chingadera, the announcers got swag bags. I just got a 32-ounce jar of fresh honey. And I was like, you know me.
Yes.
You do know me.
All too well.
So yeah, that's Siphon Draw. You got to get down there and check that stuff out. I mean, everything smells great, and it works great too. Like, it really, honestly, is good stuff. We are back to the action. Hurricane May quickly finds an opening and dashes to the front for Arizona.
Is that Mona Lethal?
That is Mona Lethal.
Mona Lethal is jamming for LA, trying to get through the Arizona Hotshots there.
May is going to spin down to the inside, and now going to get ridden down off to the inside once again, and then Sly Fox gives a little exclamation point on the sentence with a kind of a backwards-facing elbow. Not really an elbow, but, you know, just an elbow that was there and used to nudge somebody.
That happens sometimes.
Yeah, so both jammers are at the back of the pack, both fighting to get through. LA is playing excellent defense in the middle of the pack. Meanwhile, Lightning is...
Yeah, Mona got a big bump by Lightning.
Yeah, now May is going to sneak by along the inside and gets out on that second scoring pass. Mona Lethal gets flattened by Lightning the Queen, and the clock runs out. Hurricane May was blasting down the front straightaway and ran into a blocker, and you heard debris next to me go, oh, and that's when we all look out. That's when I say things like that, but everybody's all right, looks like. So another OTO, so the officials can talk this over. There are penalties raining in. I feel like it was fairly penalty light in the first half. There was only the one power jam. So penalties are now trickling in. That was a 5-point jam for Arizona. 4:27 left to go here in the game.
Well, as the game moves on, things get heated, tensions are high. Every point counts, right? So it's expected that things are going to get a little more physical.
So down there in the vendor village, we've got Oh My Quad Skate Shop also. Oh My Quad Skate Shop, they're the only roller skate specific skate shop in northern Arizona. Hollyween and Joya Destroya, the co-owners of the shop, they come with many, many years of skating and derby experience. We're here to meet the needs of the skating and derby community. They love providing direct and individual service so they can find you the exact skates, safety gear, or accessories you need. And they thank us for being loyal customers.
And don't forget to shout out your favorite player on the website. Go to AZDD on the merch page and get a shout out for your favorite player. We've still got time for that to be announced, so keep them coming.
All right. Well, after all the penalties were assessed, we've got a pack that's 1 over the minimum. So LA is sitting 2 and Arizona is sitting 1. Jamming for LA is She Deviled Egg.
And it looks like we've got Evil Twin for Arizona, who's working their way towards the front of the pack. Right there on the high, gets out as lead jammer. She Deviled Egg working towards the back there against Arizona. Looks like we got Dolly Spartan, Skid Vicious, and is that Holly Hood? My eyesight is killing. No, I'm sorry. That's Nikki Badass.
So Twin tries to sneak by Jane Woe, gets there, but an excellent block there on the front of the pack. That once again is Jezahel.
She Deviled Egg is out of the pack now. And Evil Twin is making their way towards the front and calls off the jam.
Called Jezahel and Draft Punk and Sly Fox's names more than once. They're playing really tough on the inside of the pack. I've seen them throw great blocks. There'll be about 3:15 to go when this jam starts. That is Strange for Arizona.
And we've got Bucket for LA. Waiting on the whistle. And there we go. Bucket heading towards the front of the pack. Strange gets there first and is out as lead jammer. Bucket takes a little bit of a spill there on the infield, as we talked about, concrete. Yikes, but gets right back up.
That's why they wear pads.
Yes.
In as much as they may help. Strange blocked hard at the back of the pack there. Pivot for LA up to the task, and Strange momentum sapped, knocked down to the infield.
Yeah, Bucket gets bumped out onto the infield again, but's back up, looking to make a move here.
Into the jam. I heard a penalty on Lightning the Queen, hollered out along the infield. I heard a penalty come in. We have let's see. So I heard a penalty come in on Strange, which would mean a power jam for Los Angeles. But before that, we're going to have a team timeout, Arizona. At this point, does not appear to be a challenge. So at this point, it will be a power jam for Los Angeles coming up once this timeout ends. This is 1:30 to 24. We got 2:14 to go in the second half. 2:25 to go in the second half as our game executioner comes up here and executes. I'm married to a GE, so no, trust me. All right, so timeout continuing. Officials are talking about it. The clock was slightly adjusted. That's what my little tongue-in-cheek response to our game executioner coming up here. A gentleman I'm not familiar with, King Slayer. So always fun meeting new referees. As I myself and Freya hugs their spouses. So I spend a lot of time in the ref room during tournaments, ferrying in there, getting snacks out of our bag and whatnot. So yeah, I do have a soft spot for game executioners, but doing his job to a T, same as Freya would do. Check that stopwatch, came over and said, I got a discrepancy. We are ready to get back to it. Also, he's good and loud, which,
always helps,
yes.
as Freya is very loud as well. So
yeah, everybody gets to listen to Freya in the next bout, which, as we mentioned, is Tilted Thunder versus TXRD, and that'll be getting underway in just a little bit. Right now, it's the Los Angeles Power Jam we teased, and that's going to be jamming for the first time. I moved our roster. That's Chance the Lapper. Chance the Lapper is out there, number 2022. They are ready to go with this jam. They're quickly up to the front of the pack. They're going to get blocked by Hollywood. Looking for an opening now. Chance is finally, they are able to get the pack stretched out. They ran the accordion to a T. Look at that. You don't often see the accordion work quite that well. That was so well done. All three of the Arizona blockers were out of play for about 5 seconds. Incredibly well executed accordion by Los Angeles on the power jam. Chance is going to go to the outside and tries to get by Hood along the inside, but is unable to get there. LA tries to run the accordion again, this time not quite able to get there, plus Chance got blocked off. Still marveling at how well that accordion worked the first time. I glanced back expecting there to be a goad. That really worked well. That was really a great teamwork. Meanwhile, Chance blocked off during that scoring pass, and we'll check the score. So that is going to, we have a team timeout is what we have. Is that a team timeout or is it an OTO? I apologize. Is it OTO? I honestly am checking with you because I was busy discussing names and rosters. My apologies. That was an official timeout. So that was a 5-point power jam for Los Angeles. Chance did get all 5 of those points. And Los Angeles, as one would expect after a hard-fought power jam, is sitting 2 blockers. Hurricane May on the jammer line for Arizona. There'd be at least another jam after this one. There's 1:05 left on the regulation clock. She-Deviled Egg for Los Angeles.
And Hurricane May for Arizona. And May's already out. She-Deviled Egg coming up on the front of the pack there, getting out. As May comes around possibly for some scoring. Pack's moving pretty fast now.
And May tries to jump along the inside, tried to do a coping jump, got blocked, but Jane Woe tumbled off the track as well. So May jumped up to reestablish, tried to call it off quickly. We'll check on the score from the infield. It was 2 for LA, that's official.
And for the jammer line on this one, we've got 845, Newsy and Dolly Spartan for Arizona.
Yep,
Newsy, of course,
we'll
for
get
LA.
Arizona's points will be adjusted there. The jam had just barely started when they finished, so that'll get up on the board. So now here comes Dolly Spartan. Last jam of regulation at this point.
Dolly manages to squeak by there. Newsy is still. Newsy actually is out as I was talking.
So Newsy out now, and Dolly Spartan's going to call it off.
I guess we'll see. Oh, let's see.
Yeah, I was going to say,
another, yeah.
We'll have to check. That was being timed by our GE on the infield, and I am not certain if we're going to have a timeout here so they can discuss it, obviously. I think, and this is an amateur opinion, I think there is not any time left on the clock at this point.
No? Okay.
So let's find out one moment. It would appear as such.
We'll leave it to the
I'm sorry.
pros.
The wrong person approached trackside. So if we see Jack Hart heading out there, I was going to say, so it's a challenge by Los Angeles. LA is going to use their challenge. You get one per game in these halftime bouts. I did say that wrong earlier, and everybody probably corrected me in the Twitch chat. So you get one challenge per game, and LA is going to use it with no time left on the regulation clock. So we'll find out why. They could be looking for penalty jams. If you are new to Bank Track Roller Derby, of course, at the end of regulation, if the team that is behind has skated clean and the team that is ahead gets at least one penalty, then we will have penalty jams which can repeat over and over. So that could be what we have here, but I'm not sure. We'll find out once the challenge is complete. We know it's not a points challenge, or else the eyes in the sky would be gone. These are the things I deduce during challenges. But yeah, no time left on the regulation clock right now. The bout with TXRD versus Tilted Thunder was supposed to start at 3:30. It'll be a 15-minute break before the next bout, so we'll have a start time for you as soon as we can. This bout kicks off pretty quick, and there's a little bit of an intermission before we close out with San Diego, LA, and then Arizona versus Texas at the end of the night. So this next game, as I said, Texas versus Tilted Thunder, is going to start 15 minutes after the current one ends. And then we'll have a break, and then San Diego versus LA will probably start pretty close to right on time at 5:15. I know, it's huge. I was in a hurry. I was leaving work on Wednesday. I can't read it, basically. That's why I was bent over and squinting.
Yeah, this is really...
Anyway, that's our announcer schedule.
That's giving my progressives a run for their money right there.
Challenge is continuing. I was going to say we could mention one of our longtime sponsors of the league, and that's Sidewalk Surfer. We mentioned Oh My Quad up north. Sidewalk Surfer have a large selection of roller skates and skate accessories. They build custom skates and service all brands of skates, all sorts of roller sport items as well. Anyhow, Sidewalk Surfer is open 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday and 10 to 6 on Sunday, located at 2602 North Scottsdale Road in Scottsdale. That's on Scottsdale Road. That is just north of Oak on the directions. Hang on a second. West. On the west side of the street. Yeah, no, I went to Coronado. I only drove past Sidewalk Surfer every day for 4 years. You'd think I knew where it was. We have the challenge results. We're just going to wait and make extra sure that everybody knows what's going on and then see what that means for the game action. Looks like we've got the score all updated for those points that had occurred for Arizona previously. So the score right now, 140 to 33. I'm hesitating to start another sponsor spot because I know as soon as I do, they're going to break the challenge and I can give you the result, or break the huddle and I can give you the results. So right now they're explaining why the decision was reached. Although as yet, I like I said, there are procedures in place. So basically the benches need to hear it first. A lot of discussion going on. So apparently, yeah, it was a long challenge, so there must have been a lot to evaluate. It was a low block penalty that Los Angeles was challenging. So it may have been on their jammer. Maybe that's why they were challenging it. But either way, obviously it was the skater it was on is rather immaterial. They clearly were challenging the penalty, trying to get a penalty jam was the idea. And obviously they were close. It was not an easy challenge. It was a longer than usual challenge review. All right, so that is going to do it. The challenge was not successful. Challenge unsuccessful by LA, so that is the end of the game as signaled by Jack Hart. So your final score, 140-33. You see, I took my eyes off it for 1 second. I knew it. Somebody asked a question. They're going to go over the scoring on the infield to make sure everything's all set. The score, as of the moment, 140-33, and if there's any adjustment to it, you'll see it on social media for Battle on the Bank. There was just a bloop. Took the jam ref a little while to work out with the eye in the sky what happened on the next to last jam. So it'll be all adjusted if need be as the team's going through and the hand slap line. Fans have already come down trackside. So that'll do it for our first bout of Battle on the Bank 2025.
It started. We're on our way.
It has started. We got 12 more of these to go. So that wraps us up for this bout. The next bout is going to start at, let's see, 3:53 p.m. unless I'm told otherwise. About 15 minutes from now is when I will cue us in for. Suki, thank you so much.
Yes, you're welcome.
I'm announcing with Impaler Swift later. Next. No?
No. I think I'm doing the late game.
No, I said I am.
The later game, yeah.
You and me.
It's that tiny schedule.
I've got Swifty next, and then I got Ref Boyardee. So, I mean, announcing with Refy is definitely going to be something.
Oh, that's going to be fun.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely a different perspective.
All right.
So,
all right,
thank
we'll
you
be
very
back
much.
in just a few minutes. Like I said, 15 minutes from now, we've got Texas and Tilted Thunder. Be back in a bit.